Eugene, thank you for joining us. The US has urged Israel to hold off their invasion so there can be more negotiations over the hostages. Do you think that's a good idea?
I think, sadly, the international community is falling for the clear psychological manipulation by Hamas. Why did Hamas take 200 innocent people as hostages? Specifically to protect it from Israeli attack. And the international community is unfortunately feeding into this, allowing a government which sent people to murder, torture, dismember, and rape 1,500 innocent civilians to go unpunished. And justice must be done and safety must be restored. So Western governments are trying to basically think about their own hostages there. Israel has, 200 Israelis are there, and Israel should not be held back from doing what it needs to do.
Listen, Eugene, really good of you to be on Talk today. And I think from our point of view here and on this side of the coin, it's such a difficult subject to talk about. And it must be incredibly difficult for you there in Israel. Absolutely stand shoulder to shoulder with you. The terrorist atrocities, the genocidal impact of what Hamas did those 12 days ago, whenever it was now, absolutely appalling. And there isn't anybody under international law who wouldn't quite rightly say Israel has an absolute right to go and get its hostages and revenge for that attack. Of course, the humanitarian scale of what's happening in Gaza will be talked about, and quite rightly. What we've heard a lot about militarily over the last week or so, Eugene, is Israel was going to go straight in with that land invasion. Then it seems to be holding back. We're wondering whether there are intense negotiations still going on about hostages or the impact. But this is not going to be easy. And what I'd love is for all the people who scream at the television and go, this isn't fair on Gazans, right? Which is there is a humanitarian issue. What would you say to the people who say Israel should sit down and talk rather than exact revenge, as they undoubtedly will do? What would you say?
Yes, so I would translate what ceasefire really means. Ceasefire means when people come, invade your country, torture your citizens, burn children alive in front of their parents and parents in front of their children, kill 1,500 people, the per capita equivalent of 5 or 6 9/11s. What a country is supposed to do in response is talk to them.
Yeah.
Talk to them, not to eliminate them, not to prevent it from happening ever again, but to talk to them.
And that was the problem with my words, Eugene, if I can jump in. When I say revenge, actually, it is eliminate Hamas so it can never happen again. That's the reality,
yeah, and that's not revenge. Right, that's not revenge.
No.
That's deterrence.
Yep.
Right. There is no revenge for this. But what I would say is, of course, war harms. Is bad for civilians. It's horrible for Israeli civilians. 300,000 innocent Israeli civilians who have never voted, none of them, for a genocidal government, have been displaced and are now refugees inside of Israel. World War II was bad for innocent Germans. It was bad for innocent Japanese. The war in Afghanistan was bad for innocent Afghans. So, of course, there's a humanitarian price. But if a humanitarian price prevents a defensive, justified war, that means evil and genocide can reign untouched.